Hello my beautiful friends, and how are you doing today? Welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations and I'm Nova. If this is your first time here, welcome. We're going to be looking at a granny square today, and if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with me. So if any of you follow Cozy Rosie, they have a Facebook and a website. It's Cozy Rosie UK. I'm going to put links in the description for this granny square thing that I'm doing, that I'm going to tell you about. But she's doing a hodgepodge crochet along. Let me see exactly what it's called. Hodgepodge blanket crochet along. So look at me, exactly the name of it. And what she's doing is releasing a granny square a day, and she has a video. It's showing very detailed how to do it. I've only looked at the first one so far. This started a couple days ago on Monday, on National Granny Square Day. But the first one, I watched the whole video and it was extremely well done, like beginner friendly AF. And then she's releasing a pattern every day for it. And you can purchase a PDF if you want to download it, but there's also the pattern for free on her website, and the video for free. So that's pretty awesome. So what I was thinking I'll do, I'm not going to do a granny square a day because I've got other things that I'm working on also, but I'd actually already been thinking about doing like a granny square a week, like some kind of special granny square. Just because I thought that would be like a fun little like video to do once a week. So this is perfect for me. It's going to be 30 squares, and they're going to be 8x8 squares. So they're going to be pretty big. I'm drinking tea in my little color changing confetti cup again today. And then I've just got my little makeshift koozie that I made. Koozie coaster. I talked about that before in a different video, but anyway, so yeah, there's going to be 30 of them. They're going to be 8x8, and then they'll all be different for this blanket. When you're done, you'll have 30 unique squares to put together, and it'll make a blanket. So I was like, heck yeah, that's perfect. That's like exactly what I've been looking for. So I will link her channel, and I will link the website with the hodgepodge blanket cowl. And I'll link, if it's not the same link, I'll link this first granny square. If you sign up for emails, by the way, she will send you an email every day with the granny square. But without further ado, let's talk about the granny square. So this is going to be the modern granny square with a spike stitch. So, see about the best way to show this to you. 1 minute. I'm not really sure if this is the best way to show this to you, but it's the way I'm going to show it to you. So this is the modern granny square with the spike stitch, which is going to be the one that I am making today. Okay, so only, you know, top-notch editing over here at Nova Gnome Creations. You see my beautiful editing that in. Totally not just recording my screen. So for this granny square, you pick out 3 colors, and she mentioned that she's gonna do gray as her border for all of her granny squares. So it's gonna be 3 colors, and then an additional color that's gonna eventually be the border whenever we get to putting the borders on. So I let my husband pick the colors for this. I told him, go crazy, pick what you want, you know, that are gonna go coordinating well together. I just asked that they're the same weight yarn, 4 preferably, but I do have quite a bit of 3s because of the Hobby Lobby clearance, which is definitely what he picked, was Hobby Lobby clearance stuff. So I was like, it's okay if you pick a 3, it'll just be a little bit smaller of a blanket, but just make sure that they're the same weight yarns. So without further ado, this is what he picked. All right, so first we have Fireplace Comfort in Smoky Shadow. is the color for this. And it is like a white with like a lilac, maybe even a pink. So that will be a pretty accent color that'll show those spike stitches well. And then the next color he chose is also Fireplace Comfort. And this one is Velvet Amethyst. And this one is like purples and blues. So pretty. I've never worked with these, by the way, so this will be fun to make a granny square and see how the yarn works up. They're very, very pretty, though. I bought a lot of these in the Hobby Lobby clearance because they're gorgeous. Sorry about that. And then the last one for my third color is also a Fireplace Comfort, and it is called Splash of Color. And here's what that one looks like. And that's got like nice teal, some orange, some red, kind of fading in between those two colors for that mixed in color. So those are going to be my granny square colors, and I have not started yet, but I'm going to be starting and taking you along for the journey. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing a tutorial or anything as I go along. This is just me making the granny square and hanging out with you guys because there's already a tutorial for this and it's not my pattern. So check out the description if you are interested in making one and you want those resources, because I will make sure that they're in there. But I'm excited to get started on this. I've never made a spike stitch granny square, and if you've been watching my mandala videos on Tuesdays, you'll know that every time I have spike stitch rows, I'm like, I really enjoyed this row. I like doing these spike stitches. So pretty excited to be doing a spike stitch granny square because spike stitches are fun to do. And this one's got some interesting ones. It's got some ones you go down like 2 rows and ones you go down like crisscrossing. So I will check back in with you guys in a little bit and we'll see how these colors are starting to work up. Okay, so I'm just popping back on here with the first 3 rows. Now the first 3 rows are just a regular granny square, but I wanted to show you how this yarn is working up. And it's really cute. I really like this yarn. Let's get you focused. Isn't that pretty? So that's the first shade that I decided to use, and that is the Splash of Color. Now, these are discontinued shades at Hobby Lobby. They are Yarn Bee, and they're all Fireplace Comfort. But I know a lot of you guys hit up that Hobby Lobby sale, so you might have this in your stash. And there's a small chance that you still have it at your Hobby Lobby if they haven't cleared out all their clearance. Because I do still see people posting about clearance hauls in some groups that I'm in. I've still been seeing people posting about it, so I guess some places are still on their Hobby Lobby clearance. But yep, this is what we've got going so far, just regular granny, and now we're gonna switch colors and start getting into the spike stitches. So I will see you back here shortly. Alright, touching back in with you here. I just finished row 5 of my granny square. And here is what it looks like. So these are my spike stitches that go down into here. This is really interesting to see with such a busy yarn. My husband wanted like a fall vibes blanket, you know, warm, cozy fall vibes. So that was what he had in mind when he picked the colors for this square. So this is really interesting. I think it is very different from other squares I've seen that people have done. But you can still see the spikes. So I'm really excited to add the white because I think that that's gonna look really good. So my opinions so far about the yarn, It's pretty easy to work with, and it's soft. The only thing I will say is there's a little bit of where you get those like thicker or thinner parts on a strand. You know, some yarns do that. And this is what, I don't know if it's focused, but this is what the yarn strands look like, and then the ends are kind of fuzzy. But I like it. It's soft. And I only had an issue with it being like really puffy in one spot one time. And I just kind of shaved at it a little bit so that it wouldn't be like really thick in that spot. But it's really pretty. And then as far as the pattern goes, it's really cool. I'm watching her video for this, and she actually does a couple things that I have never seen before. One thing is, you may notice that you end in a corner, and the way that that happens is when you end, she actually has you slip stitch a couple stitches over into the corner. And right now I just tied off because I'm switching colors. But she has you do that every time so that you don't have a seam. So even if you don't decide to do this granny square, you might want to go take a peek at that video just to see that, because that's pretty genius. I'm going to start doing that for all of my granny squares, because nobody wants that seam. So that is pretty cool. I think that's it for my thoughts so far. So I'm going to be switching to that white kind of variegated fireplace yarn, and adding in those different types of spike stitches. I'm really excited to see how the white pops on this. So I will be back in a moment to touch bases and see what that's looking like. Alright, and we're back with round 6 finished. This is the little crossed spikes that I was talking about. That did not focus it. There we go. So these are those little crossed spikes that I was talking about. And the stitch markers are just to mark where the chain spaces are so that I can find them easily next round when I am crocheting around and I need to put my granny stitches in there. So this is how this color is working up. Very interesting. It's very busy. I think I like it though. It's definitely a lot going on. I definitely like the, I think the white gives some intrigue with the spike stitches. So yeah, I think this is pretty cool. So the next thing that I'll be doing is going back to the original color that I used and doing, I believe, 2 more rounds. One is going to be a granny square round, and then one is going to be a single crochet round. So I remembered the other thing that I was going to mention in the last clip that I thought was interesting that she does is when she does her color changes, she actually just like ties on right onto the work, like with just like slides it through, ties a little knot, and then, you know, you work over it so you don't see it. And I was like, I like it. It's easy. I'm always for a nice, simple, easy way of doing something. So like I said, even if you don't want to make the granny square, you might want to head over there and just look at the little tips that she kind of has in there. Well, she doesn't call this one a tip. She calls this one her cheating or something along that line, but I think it's a tip. So I will head back to that first color, and then I will come back and we will have finished this granny square. So I will see you shortly. And we are done. So here is our finished square. It's so big I can't even like hold it closer to the camera really. Like this is like right in front of my face. It's a big square. I'm gonna need to like block it. I've never blocked anything and I don't have a blocking board. I want to get a blocking board, but I do not have one. I think it's already focused, but make sure it's focused. Since I'm holding it at the same depth as me, it's just focused on its own. I'm actually really happy with this. I think this is really cute. I think this came out really cool. So this, I did look it up and this yarn is discontinued, which sucks because I actually like it. And I looked and this is 30% wool and 70% acrylic and machine washable on cold, lay flat to dry. So sounds good to me. But yeah, see if we can get some of the details visible for you guys. So this is that, what did she call it? Modern granny square with spike stitches. Very, very cool. I really like how that came out. So this is the first square in her 30 squares for making a blanket, and I will put some pictures of this one in at the end also, laying down. She's right now doing a square a day. She's sending them to your email if you've signed up for emails. And then they're on her website. Like I said, there's videos. The video was phenomenal. It literally walked you through everything. So literally like right from square one, right from like your magic circle or your, you know, chaining thing that you do at the beginning if you don't do a magic circle. She literally goes super slowly through the whole thing. So definitely a very doable pattern. And if you prefer to buy them, there's also some kind of a discount. I think it's like 20% or 30% or something like that, where you can buy the whole crochet along, like all of the squares together, and then have all of the PDFs. Or you can buy them individually, but it's on a discount while she's doing the crochet along. So that's only going to be for like a month. So if you're wanting to do that, make sure you grab that. But super, super happy with that. I'm not going to be doing one every day, but I'm thinking I might do one every week. You know, I'll just do it when the mood strikes. It might be more frequently than once a week. We'll see. But I'm thinking that this will be a fun little thing to do, and I let my husband pick the colors, so he's going to have himself this warm fall style kind of blanket, and I think it's a fun little project. Spend a couple hours working on it. So I hope everybody has a great day. Today is Wednesday. I might be back on here with a Whip Wednesday post. I'm not sure what I'm getting into after this. I just spent the whole morning working on this. I actually was like pre-watching the tutorial yesterday and picking out, well, having my husband pick out the yarns yesterday. So I had it all sitting on my desk ready to go this morning when I got up. So I'm not sure what I'm going to get into after this. But I might be back on here with a Whip Wednesday. But if not, I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope everybody's having a great week. Halfway through the week, so only a little bit more to go. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.